The holiday season has begun, and whether you celebrate Toyotaton or Happy Honda Days, we can all be thankful that Gung-Ho has decided to give us 3 whole weeks of Sin Dragons? Okay, but before that, I want to go over what has happened so far since my last video. For some reason, the talent title was over a month late. But on the other hand, the 61 million downloads, aka the Autumn Solar Eclipse event, was early by a few weeks. We did get the old school dungeons that gave us 61 stones, but we didn't get the 61 stones in the mail that JP got. Sure, NA gave us 90 stones for logging in, so it depends how you look at it. Was Gung-Ho greedy and didn't give us the 61 stones, or they gave us 61 plus 29 other extra stones for the other milestones? At the end of October, we also got the Halloween event, which I did forget to talk about in my previous video, and I guess that's another thing to note for December, as the Christmas event will roughly happen at the same time as it will in JP. Then, in early November, we had the Hatsune Miku Super Gadfest, which was very surprising. So I have a little bit more hope that we'll actually get the Dengeki Bunko collab. So with that, we're all caught up to the current event, which is 3 weeks of Sin Dragons. And as you can probably tell, I am not excited about this. All of the new units are somewhat underwhelming. The main highlight is this Burger, which I've seen people use to farm UN 4, but I would hold off on rolling for him until the end of the event to see whether we get the Dengeki Bunko collab, since Mikasa can do a way better job than him, and she can also tackle UN 5. I wouldn't recommend rolling in Sin Dragons, especially on the off chance that we get the Dengeki Bunko collab. I would much rather roll in the current Super Gadfest, although that choice is also a little bit questionable knowing what's to come. This Gadfest is a good chance to get Vione or Pattie, but if you have the means you can just outright purchase them and not bother rolling. In the near future, we have the possible Dengeki Bunko collab, the Final Fantasy collab, the Christmas seasonal event, the Sanrio collab, and who knows what's gonna happen with the Marvel collab. The Gung-Ho Another Story collab. Oh wait, actually these are 2 units and not 4. Let me fix it. And there's 2 big reasons why you might not want to roll in the Super Gadfest. 1, they're doing more Gadfests with collab units, just like they did it before with Hatsune Miku. But now, they're doing it with even more Chainsaw Man units. The Hatsune Miku Super Gadfest only lasted for 4 days, but the Chainsaw Man will last for 2 whole weeks, with 2 different lineups for GFEs. But that's assuming we'll even get the Chainsaw Man units. And the second reason why you might want to skip the Super Gadfest is the fact that around early February, we should be getting the Player's Choice Super Gadfest that should have Kurotobi on the lineup. The only reason to roll this might be just to complete your Kurotobi team with Vione. But if you don't have Kurotobi, then it's a big gamble to try to get Vione here and then trying to roll Kurotobi. And of course, you'll be able to purchase at least 1 copy of Kurotobi during the Gadfest. Okay, let me focus on what might be happening this December. NA should be celebrating the 11th anniversary of the Android version. We should be getting 91 stones from logging in, plus 20 more from a dungeon clear. Next, we should be seeing a version update and changes to the 4-player mode. This new version will include graphical changes to skills, where ores will be graphically displayed instead of being written out. Existing 4-player PvP icons will get skills, and a new set of carbuncle icons will be introduced. There will also be changes to the built-in monster search. For the second part of the first season of the 4-player mode, we'll see a time reduction of 20 seconds across the board for all 4-player dungeons. Also, there will be changes to the amount of points you can get from making a hard column and from one-shotting each floor. There should be a maintenance around the 14th, since that's the day that the 4-player Season 1 Part 1 will end. Since it's becoming more apparent that we're not gonna get the Dengeki Bunko collab, it seems like the next collab is gonna be Final Fantasy, which, without Dengeki, the biggest chase in this collab, Clive, will be pretty much useless since we won't have Shanna to go along with him. Therefore, this collab doesn't seem that attractive to me. Wait, what am I talking about? For every multiple you do in Final Fantasy, you'll get a multiple from the Crystal Defender collab, which NA never got, and that's where the biggest chase card is. You might not remember this, or if you're a new player, you might not know about it, but there was a card that everyone was going crazy about, And of course, at the time, NA didn't get it. So now it's our chance to finally play with this card. But this is NA. We never got these cards before, and I don't know why we would get them now. Next up, there should be a new Gathering of Talents floor added, and a new title to come along with it. I don't know if we'll see it in December, since NA took a long time to implement the last floor. Next, we should have the Christmas event. And since JP and NA celebrate a week apart, we don't have any details so far, obviously. But if we're going by last year, JP's event should start on the 11th, and the NA event should start on the 18th. And then December could possibly end with the return of the Sanrio collab. This machine has some really nice equips and units, although it's very bloated. The Rafine and the Alexander Sanrio variants are actually really good rainbow units, and they are placed highly on Japanese tier lists. But as always with tier lists, it's important to remember that they are highly dependent on whatever you have on your monster box, and also take into account JP exclusive units. Speaking of which, let me take a quick look at the current tier list in JP. You could say that these are technically 2 or 3 months ahead of NA, but again, they include JP exclusive units that we're probably not gonna get. If we're not getting Dengeki Bunko, then you can safely remove Clive from his high ranking, since he really needs Shanna to work with. Then you can also say goodbye to Mikasa and Tutsuya. And I also believe that Kano and Kuron should be placed lower on an NA tier list, since we don't have the asymmetrical pair unit from Dengeki Bunko. So assuming Final Fantasy happens, which I'm 99% certain, Warrior of Light and Dion should remain highly rated as long as we get the Captain Marvel buffs. But then there's the whole Marvel debacle. As you can see, She-Hulk is in this tier list. I don't know why, but last time, She-Hulk and other units were not reskinned in the Gung-Ho and Other Story version. So I don't know if we'll get the new units, like Captain America and Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, Ms. Marvel, and Gambit. I guess that only leaves the Chainsaw Man units. Denji looks fairly strong, but I think his strength relies on Marvel units. Let's see where these units land. That's a lot of X's and question marks. Things are looking a little bit dire. Kurotobi and Graner remain highly rated, so I guess my old video is still relevant for at least another 2 months. But don't take these tier lists too seriously. It seems that Gung-Ho is scaling down or not accelerating the difficulty in high-end dungeons. At least for now. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe. Also share this video if you found it helpful.